It's Woody Williams' turn to twirl for the Cardinals as he looks to douse the red-hot bats of the Houston Astros. It's as close as a must-win game can be to determine the National League Central crown. Cards and Astros next on Fox Sports Net. Manager Tony La Russa has his hands full tonight. He will face the ace of the staff for the Houston Astros. Wade Miller has 16 victories on the year. He'll throw Woody Williams. We're at Enron Field. Over 35,000 expected here tonight. It's game 2 of this all-important set. Cards and Astros tonight on Fox Sports Net. With Al Hrabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and once again, welcome back to Enron Field. Is it far-fetched to say that the Cardinals could reach the Houston Astros in the Central Division?
They're going to have to win tonight if they're going to do so. But I think, as George Kissel said, the focus right now is to win as many games as possible. Let's first qualify for the wild card, and then once you've done that, then you still have those last 3 games at home to try and go ahead and win the Central Division.
So in the Central, the Cardinals are 5.5 games out. Chicago basically is out of it. They're 9 back. And then you look at the wild card. The Redbirds lead San Francisco by 2 games. The Giants and Barry Bonds and his 67 home runs will be in Los Angeles tonight. And we can tell you early on at PNC Park, it's already 5-0 Pirates with the lead over the Chicago Cubs. And they're finding ways to lose, surprisingly.
Yeah, but I think the one thing you got to remember is the Cardinals hold their own destiny. They have a 2-game lead. They got 12 to play. Just go and win as many games as possible, and it starts tonight.
Fantastic pitching pairing tonight. Pair of right-handers. Wade Miller, 16 victories. Woody Williams looking for his 14th. Williams against Miller. Comes your way next on Fox Sports Net. Beautiful night for baseball. The roof is open here at Enron Field as the Astros enter tonight's action. 30 games above 500. They're 90-60, and they own the best record in the National League. And the Cardinals trail in the Central by 5.5 games. So look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Vina, Polanco, Drew Pujols, Edmonds, McGuire is back in there. Paquette stays in. He'll play third. Marrero a change behind the plate. And Woody Williams will bat ninth and pitch for St. Louis.
Well, Wade Miller will be on the mound. He's 8-2 here at Enron Field. Pitching very well of late. You see the 3-0 record in his last 4 starts. And the Astros believe with a win here tonight, they'll put away the Cards. You know, last night, if you looked at the pitching matchup, it favored St. Louis. It wasn't that way. This matchup favors Houston, so Woody Williams will have to respond.
Wade Miller has had success this year against the Cardinals. At one point, he struck out 13 in a victory back in May. Take a look at Around the Horn. It's brought to you by Dobbs, the defense for the Astros. Bagwell, the All-Star, along with Biggio, the All-Star, on the right side of the infield. Benny Castilla, former All-Star, is at third, picked up from Tampa Bay, and he's been outstanding. Julio Lugo is at short. Darrell Ward, a late insertion into their lineup. He'll play left field. Richard Hidalgo is in center. Moises Alou is not playing tonight. He was a late scratch. We don't know why. And Lance Berkman takes over in right. He moves from left to right. And Brad Ausmus had a big night last night. He is back behind the plate once again this evening. Our Chrysler Jeep starter is Wade Miller.
25 years of age, and he's already a 16-game winner this year. Has 1 complete game. He's a big horse. He'll try to go over the 200 innings, and he will eventually this year. And you see the 169 hits. Almost 100 more strikeouts than walks this year.
6'2" right-hander Wade Miller from Pennsylvania. Vina will lead things off for St. Louis. He had a home run last night. Speaking of home runs, Mark McGuire is in the lineup tonight. When McGuire homers, the Redbirds 17-6, and when he doesn't play, or no home runs, 28-36. So Mark McGuire is in there tonight with 25 home runs and 54 RBIs on the year. Batting, though, 182 this season.
Vina did hit a home run in last night's game. And boy, it would be nice to jump out to an early lead. But this is a tough customer in Wade Miller.
First pitch right back to Miller at 7:07 here in Houston. 1 up and 1 down. That's how we start game 2. Bringing you right back to the pitcher. It was a late arriving crowd last night and once again here tonight. 5 starts against St. Louis in his career for Wade Miller. ERA under 4 and a record of 3-1.
This year he is making his 4th start against the Redbirds. It was 2-1. The 1 loss was right here at Enron Field.
Here is the shortstop tonight, Placido Polanco. Renteria is not injured. He's just getting the night off.
He has not hit Wade Miller very well. We do have a few guys that have done so. Polanco is 2 for 8, but one of those hits was a home run.
Castilla, even with the bag at third, that's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals bats have been quiet during their 2-game losing streak. It started Sunday afternoon against Pittsburgh. They were trying to go for the sweep, but they could only manage just a handful of hits. And last night again. 1-1 pitch, fouled away.
Well, Malecki pitched very well in that ball game, but I think some of the Cardinal hitters, instead of taking that approach of up the middle and the opposite field and just trying to center the ball, seemed like they started swinging a little wild and out in front. This guy, you just try and hit the ball because he's got overpowering stuff.
Longo is 0 for his last 11. Now make it 12. A strikeout of Placido. 2 up and 2 down.
Placido may be wearing down a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't play every day, but this is really his longest prolonged slump for the season.
J.D. Drew is 0 for his last 8. Average has dropped to 322. Still very impressive numbers for the season. Pujols is the cleanup man. He is on deck. J.D. looks at a strike, a fastball. 94 miles an hour from Miller.
J.D. is 0 for 6 against Miller. We need him to respond.
Wade Miller's not afraid to go inside, is he?
No, and I think that is the approach, what they'll do with J.D. A little bit old-fashioned, try to intimidate him a little bit.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Drew pops it up out of play and into the seats. Who would the Cardinals be without Woody Williams? Since arriving in that trade from San Diego, he's just been everything and then some.
Well, he's really like Dave Malecki coming from Detroit in the Lima trade. Woody Williams has been as good for the Redbirds.
The 1-2 pitch to Drew. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wade Miller was the National League Pitcher of the Month for April. Got off to a great start.
And I think Wade Miller, particularly what he did in April, set a tone that, okay, we're going to have to play 81 games here in Enron Field, but we're not going to let this home run haven bring us to our knees.
Let's see if Drew can jump on one here. A 3-2 pitch. He does, but pulls it foul. Wade Miller, part of that young staff for the Astros, and they have dealt with all kinds of injuries this season. Shane Reynolds has been hurt. Of course, Lima was shipped away to Detroit in the Malecki deal. So they've dealt with a lot of injuries and dealt with it well.
Well, they've dealt with it because Larry Dirkers kept a very positive frame of mind, and the farm system has supplied good pitching.
Drew draws the 2-out walk and the first base runner of the night. That'll bring in Albert Pujols. It's now 8-0. Pittsburgh with a lead in the 2nd inning at PNC Park. Chicago may be done.
Well, I told you once they get eliminated, they're gonna be tough to beat. And they still have 4 games with Houston, but after they're eliminated.
Mets lead Montreal. That's 1-0. The 4th inning as Pujols looks at a strike. Atlanta on top of Florida 2-1.
Pujols has 2 hits in 6 at-bats against Miller, and both hits were home runs.
Albert is 0 for his last 9. 0 for 3 last night. Did reach base one time. 1-1. 93 miles an hour from Miller.
Miller's going to throw from about 92 to 96 with his fastball. Got a couple different breaking pitches.
Two balls and a strike on Pujols. Last time the Redbirds saw Wade Miller was in June. He was a 2-1 winner in that game. He went 8 innings, allowed only 2 hits.
That was at St. Louis.
Albert jammed a bit. Biggio backs up, takes his time. The Cards are retired, and Albert is 0 for his last 10. We'll move to the bottom of the first here at Enron Field. Woody Williams will take to the mound. Larry Dierker trying to make it 4 division titles in 5 years here in Houston. Look at his lineup. Biggio, then Lugo, Bagwell, Berkman, Ward, Castilla, Hidalgo, Ausmus, and Miller. Last 10 games, Lance Berkman, the switch hitter, one of the top hitters in the game at 471. Woody Williams will make the start tonight for St. Louis.
Well, the Houston factor, he's a high schooler right there from Houston, and then he went to the University of Houston. He's won 7 of his last 8, and he's not afraid of his responsibility. He really has to shoulder a lot of what's left of the season right here tonight.
Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. A look at the defense. Mark McGuire back in there tonight. He's at first. Vigna, 9 errors on the season. He's at second. Paquette from the outfield to third base tonight. Polanco from third to short with Renteria on the bench. Pujols is in left. Edmonds in center. And J.D. Drew, the start in right. And behind the plate, Eli Marrero gets a start. These two, Woody Williams and Marrero, have worked very well together since the trade from San Diego. Without question, Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan getting more confidence as the season has gone along, with Eli Marrero calling a game behind the plate.
But I think they also need his bat in the lineup.
Right. Biggio takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Craig Biggio, who for the first time last season spent time on the DL. Against Woody Williams, 4 for 14.
There are numerous players in this lineup for the Astros that have had gaudy numbers against Williams.
2-1.
And Woody is 2-1 with a 4.58 ERA and 3 career starts here at Enron Field. He has allowed 7 home runs. 5 of them came in the 1 game he lost.
3 balls and a strike on the former catcher, Craig Biggio. Came up with Houston in 1988, and in 91 was the year that he switched from catcher to second.
With a great running speed and protect that.
He also has good power. This one to the opposite way. Edmonds can't catch up with it. A 1-hopper off the wall and a double for Craig Biggio.
Leg high in the air, part of his trigger mechanism, gets it down, the ball out away from him, and so one thing you'll see, it had 200 home runs on the season, but they will spray the ball around. They'll hit it to all parts of the field. They don't just look at left field and say how cozy it is. They hit the ball where it's pitched.
Biggio had a big night last night in that 9-3 victory and starts off tonight on the right foot for Houston. He's at second. Here's Julio Lugo playing short tonight with Vizcaíno on the bench. He started last night. Lugo fouls it away, trying to move Biggio from second to third. Lugo, some good numbers, hitting .265 with 10 homers and 35 RBIs.
They have pretty much a set lineup every single day. And the only place they kind of jockey around is the shortstop. Vizcaíno and Lugo.
Polanco is in on the grass at third. McGuire even with the bag at first. Ready for the bunt. And Goes to the right side. It's a beauty. Pena, the shovel. Got him at first. What a play by Fernando. Lugo, a perfect bunt. Placed perfectly, but Pena makes the play, and his only play was to either barehand and flip or glove it, like he did, shovel it to McGuire. And a great play by Pena.
It's a very close play right here. The crowd's seen it one way, and Gary Cederstrom sees it the Cardinals' way. Bang, bang, says he's out, but Biggio does go to third.
And here's Bagwell with an RBI opportunity. Bagwell with 123 RBIs on the year. Williams challenges him at the first pitch. 88 miles per hour.
Now, Jeff Bagwell, usually when the Astros score 9 runs, you would think he'd be in the middle of it. He wasn't last night, but 6 for 15 off of Woody Williams, 4 home runs.
In the hole here with no balls and a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Wasted outside by Woody Williams. Berkman on deck to switch hitter. 2-1. Lugo, it scored 4-3 and not a sacrifice. Agree with that?
Yes.
Bagwell hitting near 300 with that crouch stance, and he just explodes into the baseball. 2-2. Probably explodes is the best way to describe the way that he swings. Violent, aggressive, but yet under control.
Now there's ways to pitch to him, and when he gets out of his groove, it's a very unusual batting stance, a little funky, but boy, has he been productive.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bagwell. Full count.
Bagwell joins Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth as the only players in Major League history. They have 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and a 100-run score in 6 straight seasons. First Astro with 3,000 total bases. Biggio is joining.
Just missed on the outside corner. And a walk handed out to Bagwell, and that'll bring in Lance Berkman. Berkman, a switch hitter. And from the left side, a much better hitter. It's .350.
Jim Joyce is the home plate umpire, and he's proven already that he's a very small and tight strike zone. This is a hitter's friendly ballpark, and when an umpire won't give you the corners, it can make it for an explosive night.
Berkman hitting .340 overall. The first pitch taken for a strike. A breaking ball catches the outside corner. Lance Berkman broke the game open last night with a key 2-out hit and scored 2. Berkman at .340, Larry Walker at .353, and Walker, of Colorado, leads the National League in hitting. He had a pair of home runs last night against San Diego. 1-1. Albert Pujols, by the way, is in the top 5 in the National League at .333.
Berkman's had a breakthrough season here. 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 100 runs scored.
And he hits it left side. Paquette can't make the play. Into left field it goes. 1-0 Houston. Air number 5 on Paquette. Let the ball play him, and it cost the Cardinals.
Danny, I think what he was trying to do was he's trying to position himself where he could make the throw home and get the runner. And it kind of hit the lip there, but he really didn't square up to it. He's playing it to the side, and then the ball plays him. So mine trying to do a little bit too much, where simply you have to do things a lot simpler right first.
So Biggio scores the first run of the game. Here's Darrell Ward. Ward at 271. A good opportunity here with a base hit to add to this lead. It's already 1-0. Ward just trying to find a spot in the lineup, but it's tough with all the bats that Houston has, and this is a good young player for the Astros. Hits it right side. That's a fair ball. McGuire will take it himself. A run will score. RBI 38 for Darrell Ward, who was a late insertion into the lineup after a Lewis scratch late. And it's 2-0 with Bagwell scoring the run. The Cardinals will have to play catch up again here tonight.
Well, these Astros are going to play very relaxed baseball. The pressure's on the Cardinals, and it's more desirable to be the team that's relaxed and playing with the big lead.
Houston, a 5.5 game lead over the Redbirds in the Central. Their magic number to clinch the Central is 7. Magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 5. And Castilla swings and misses. He has had some impressive numbers since coming over from Tampa Bay.
Released by the lowly Tampa Bay team, making a lot of money, and Tampa's paying all that, everything but the minimum. He is produced and right in the middle of the pennant race.
Hidalgo on deck. 2 outs, no balls and a strike on Vinny Castilla. 0-2.
And he's also had great success against Woody Williams. 8 for 18. 4 home runs. Pittsburgh's gotten 2 more runs.
10-0 now.
And still batting in the 3rd.
Who started that game for Chicago?
Beret. Jason Beret.
Yep. He lasted 2/3 of an inning. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Castilla. So the Cubs 9 games back in the Central. Their only hope is trying to catch the Redbirds. Was 0-2, now a full count on the Houston third baseman. What has turned into a long bottom of the 1st for Woody Williams. Started with a double by Biggio. Lugo was retired. Biggio moved up. Bagwell walked, and then Berkman reached on the air by Paquette, and Ward the ground out RBI. 3-2 on Castilla. Nothing Astros here in the 1st. And he walked him. Second walk in the inning. At him 0-2. Already 25 pitches thrown by Woody Williams. Here's Hidalgo with 2 outs, 1st and 3rd, and a 2-0 Astros lead. Ooh, he had a good pitch to rip at, fouled it back.
Hanging breaking ball.
Last night, Hidalgo unloaded on that pitch from Matt Morris, and that got things going. Part of a 7-run inning. And the 5th on 7 hits. Good young talent. He pops this one up. Foul ground. Paquette calls for it and has it. We're through 1 inning. You're at Enron Field. The Astros with the early lead of 2-0. Edmonds, McGuire, Paquette 2 up for St. Louis. Let's break down the Houston Astros season. It's our Hyundai Key matchup. Home 44-32, but it's on the road where they define this team 46-28, the best road mark in the National League. Al.
Well, I think that's the case. You know, they've learned how to make the adjustment pitching here at Enron Field, or commonly known as 10-run field. But they go on the road, and this offense just keeps on clicking. It's unfortunate they have such a good offense, and they've jumped out to a 2-0 lead with only 1 hit.
Here's Edmonds. He gets under the first pitch he sees. Pops it a mile high into right center. The doggo has it for the first out here in the 2nd. And that'll bring in Mark McGuire.
Mark's hit 2 home runs off of Wade Miller. 25 home runs. Tony keeps on believing that if he can just get a few hits, and don't have to be home runs, but just something psychologically to get him over that 200 barrier and feel so much better about his season.
First pitch, a ball to Big Mac, who has just tattooed a pitch in here before. Almost off the light facade in left center field.
And you and I just say what he does in the next 12 games will define whether it was a good year or a bad year. And you know he can carry a team.
1 ball, 1 strike. George Kissel, an interesting observation about McGuire during the pregame show. In his mind, he is saying that McGuire is not picking up the ball out of the pitcher's hand, which is obviously, and it's a key in hitting, but overlooked many times.
Well, and Danny, it also can stand to reason when you think about it, because of the bad knee and some of the bad habits he's picked up. Instead of sitting back and driving off that back leg, he squats down, his momentum's going forward, and so's your head. And when your head is moving forward, you're not, you know, it's difficult enough to pick up a pitch that's coming at you 90+ miles an hour with movement on it, but if your head's also moving, everything is distorted.
94 miles an hour with that last fastball to McGuire. Just missed it. Got under it. Lugo there. And shallow left. 2 away. This date in baseball history back in 1965 is brought to you by Schnucks. At the age of 59, Satchel Paige becomes the oldest player ever to appear in a major league game. September 25th, 1965, one of the greatest Negro League players of all time, Satchel Paige.
Well, let's just put it this way. He would admit to 59. And you don't know if it might have been another 10 years.
They were saying about 64, 65 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I had Satchel as quote-unquote a pitching coach at Tulsa.
How was he?
The Cardinal organization. Well, he sat in a rocking chair. He never talked to us. Talked to the grounds crew. But he was listed as A. Ray Smith, you know, Tulsa Oilers pitching coach.
Did he travel with you?
No.
And never talked to you?
And well, he never dressed with us.
Some kind of pitching coach.
Well, that was back in the days when you had a manager and he had no staff. But he was there as an attraction for the fans and not for our benefit.
Sure.
I would have loved to have just asked him question upon question.
2-1 on Paquette. 2 outs, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Wade Miller, who is the ace of their staff with all their injuries, trying to make this lead hold up and shut down the Cardinals. 16-game winner coming into tonight's action. 16-7 with an ERA under 4.
Well, think about it, Danny. The Astros started out with 5 starters, and Wade Miller is the only one of the original 5, right, that's still here. Others are either hurt or traded away.
Right down the middle, Paquette caught looking for the second strikeout tonight for Wade Miller. An inning and a half in the books here at Enron Field. The Astros with the lead in game 2 of this 3-game set. Bottom of the second in Enron Field, 2-0. The Astros with the early lead. The Midwest Sports Report is coming up after the final out here with Pat Paris and Rob King. On tonight's program, Kevin Slayton, the King, sounds off. Fox Focus, Stadium Security. And Barry Bonds, a countdown. He's at 67. He'll play later tonight in Los Angeles. 31-year-old catcher Brad Ausmus to lead things off. Number 8 man in their order. Then the pitcher Wade Miller. Then back to the top of the order. First pitch is strike. It was the bottom of the order last night, Al, that really did some damage.
Yeah, Bagwell and I were talking about that, saying that's how you score a lot of runs, is when you get the...
It's sharply to short. There's Polanco. Only 3 errors on the year so far. 1 up and 1 down. What's on tap brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. Once again tomorrow on Fox Sports Net will come your way at 6:30. The Cards and Astros in the finale of this 3-game set.
What you hope is the rubber game of this 3-game set, and then the advantage is back to the Cardinals. Darryl Kyle on the mound, opposed by Ron Valone.
It's now 12-0. Pittsburgh leading Chicago. Edmonds there for the second out. Well, for all you Ducks Unlimited members, don't forget that Sunday, October 7th is DU Day at the ballpark. There's a picnic, raffle, and auction of Cardinals and Ducks Unlimited merchandise. And don't forget the 7th is also the Mark McGwire bobblehead day for kids 15 and under. 425-0699. To order your tickets, call the Ducks Unlimited Ticket Center. 425-0699.
Well, 2 pitches this inning is Woody Williams thrown, and that's going to help him out after a long first. Biggio has the only hit of this game. Come around to score on an error. So really, Woody, a little bit of luck, we'd have a scoreless game.
Pitch taken for a ball. Biggio, a double to lead things off offensively for the Astros in their half of the first. Lugo moved him over to third and then came around in the air. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're talking about dirtiest hats and helmets in the game. They're on display tonight. Possibly a bat, too, for Biggio. All the pine tar that he uses.
Steve Klein, nasty disposition. Hadn't pitched in 4 days. Can't stand himself. But he's itching to get in there and wants it to be in a pivotal point of the game. Tell you what, you can play on my team anytime.
Ground ball, weakly hit to short. Polanco, nice play. A 1-2-3 inning for Woody Williams. We're through 2. Astros have the lead, 2-0. Top of the third, 2-0 Houston with the early lead. Well, it's a new show that Al's been talking about every day when we come to the ballpark. It's the best damn sports show, period. Featuring a comedian who's a diehard sports fan and a bunch of ex-jocks. Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30, only here on Fox Sports Net.
Which one is Tom Arnold?
He's the third fat guy you just
No, I
saw.
mean, but is he the comedian or is he a, an ex-jock? What does he claim to be?
I have no idea. Are you saying he's not a comedian?
Well, I just was hoping that he was the comedian.
You don't enjoy his style of comedy.
Sure I
That's
do.
what you're basically saying.
Hey,
Just admit it.
Tom Arnold's been a visitor in the booth with us. So I've got a photo with Tom Arnold.
And you're proud of it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
Just trying to figure out if he thinks he's a jock.
Which he does. 0-2 on Marrero. Little looper into center. Hidalgo coming on, and he won't make the play. First hit tonight for St. Louis, and Eli Morero is aboard here in the third.
Well, Danny, we talked about last night, it was the low end of the order for the Astros that did a lot of damage. Maybe we can get things started here with Morero, and then remember Woody Williams. He was an all-regional shortstop here at the University of Houston. And here's that little dunker in front of the center fielder, Hidalgo.
With Williams, you can do some things. Slug bunt, hit and run, because he does handle the bat so well. And of course, Morero with the great speed for a catcher, you can do some things that you wouldn't normally do 8 and 9 in the order.
Woody has 13 hits on the year.
13 for 73 and near the 200 mark.
I think since he's been with the Cardinals, he has hit over 200.
There's what we're talking about. Eli was running. Ball is dropped out at first. So Morero moves up to second. He's in scoring position, and a good chance for the Cardinals to get on the board with just one out. And Vina coming to the plate.
He is that butcher boy. Fake, fake bunt and hit. You got to hit down on the ball, so you don't want to do a hit into a line drive. Woody running hard down the line, but Lugo was able to recover.
Vina in search of his 52nd RBI. 51 on the year. That's a career high for him.
Well, he got 51 last night.
Breaking ball misses outside. It was a solo home run for Fernando.
That's right, and put him one away from equaling his career high in home runs.
Jim Emmons also homered, a 2-run shot. 101 RBIs on the year for Jim. And he's approaching 30 on the year. 2-0. Larry Dierker has done a heck of a job in stabilizing the starting rotation, as Al mentioned. Wade Miller, the only one of the original 5 in that starting rotation, still going. Larry Dierker, former pitcher and young phenom himself.
Shane Reynolds was injured at the beginning of the season. Bottom Field is injured. Ellerton and Lima have been traded away, and Dotel has been put in the bullpen.
Stasio has been hurt. Reynolds spending time injured. Some of their younger pitchers injured. And 4 straight, Vina gets a walk, and that's the second walk handed out by Wade Miller. So you have to give Larry Dierker some credit this season in keeping the ship afloat in a big-time way. 30 games above 500.
And talking with Bagwell, he was saying what a difference a year makes. Last year, with all the injuries, they were out of it, and just playing meaningful games in September is just, there's nothing better.
Here's Polanco. Chance for him to snap an 0 for 12 streak, and 5 straight balls thrown by the right-hander Miller.
One thing about this Astros ball club, with a great leadership, and Osmus is outstanding at handling a pitching staff, guiding them through, but you really have extensions of the management team and Bagwell and Biggio in the infield. They really have a group of players that police themselves and really just let their manager just, put out a lineup and let the guys play.
The 1-0. A strike on the inside corner. First and second, and 1 out for Polanco. Larry Dierker was the 98 manager of the year in the National League. He, along with Tony La Russa, have won the last 5 division titles. '97, '98, '99 for Houston. Cardinals last year, and Cardinals in '96. That was a fun September in '96 with Ozzie on the early days in September, being a big part of that.
They won that year, the Cardinals, because they dominated against Houston.
It's popped up. Biggio has it for the second out. Yep. It's up to Drew. He walked his first time up. 12-0 Pittsburgh on top of Chicago. In the 4th inning at PNC Park, 2-2 Atlanta and Florida. That's in the 5th. Mets on top of Montreal 2-0. They start the day 4 games out in the East. And Cincinnati leads Philadelphia 3-0. So a chance for the Mets to gain ground in the National League East. Mets 4 back of Philadelphia and Atlanta. Braves and Phillies 10 games above 500. And New York surprisingly has found themselves with a chance to get to postseason play with a late run. 1-0 on Drew. Pujols on deck. Inning started with an 0-2 base hit by Eli Marrero. Williams then grounded out to short. Eli moved up to second. A walk to Bina. Polanco popped it up to second. With 2 outs, here's Drew in a 1-1 count. And JD rips it into right. Eli being waved home, and it gets past Berkman. 2 runs are going to score. JD on his way to third. He's safe, and the game is tied. So an RBI for Drew, then an error on the right fielder. Lance Berkman is 5th on the year, and 2 runs come around to score with 2 outs. Here in the Cardinals half of the 3rd.
Well, that changes things dramatically. The first hit off of Miller, and there's the ball got by Berkman. That guaranteed that Bina's going to score, and JD was flying and ends up at third base. So a costly error for each side. This one even bigger than the one the Cardinals committed in the first.
RBI for Drew, number 68. As Bina and Marrero score the first 2 runs for St. Louis tonight, and a little life now for St. Louis.
Absolutely, Danny. Sometimes you get that break. We talked about Marrero leading off with a single. Then that's big clutch 2-out hitting by Drew. Remember the walk to Bina. And if you can just bring Drew home.
Ball gets away. Drew thought about coming home, but he'll go back to third. JD would have scored, I think, if he would have made that quick reaction to get to the plate.
Well, it starts, you've got to anticipate. You get your secondary lead. See, there's too much of a hesitation. But in fairness, that ball kind of came up and looked like it bounced around his knees. Clearly did not get separated from Osmus. And so unless you feel like you could almost walk home with your leading RBI man, don't risk it.
Albert's been quiet lately. Coming off a Player of the Week honors last week. Hit .370 with a pair of home runs and 15 RBIs. As his remarkable season continues. Sticks the bat out in a ground ball to Biggio. Cardinals will strand JD Drew at third, but they get on the board. They tie the game up thanks to JD Drew. He scorched it into right. It gets past Berkman. Marrero and Bina score, and it's 2-2.
John Ronzik would be so proud of you the way you enthusiastically sing Auto Time.
Absolutely. One of our proud sponsors for Cardinal baseball, among other things. Here's Woody Williams, who had just 5 pitches last inning. Lugo for Houston, trying to bunt his way on last time he came to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Lugo, Bagwell, and Berkman here in the 3rd. 2-2 game. Oh, 2. Number number 2 spot in the order, whether it's Vizcaino like it was last night or Lugo here tonight. There's some protection around him with Biggio in front, Bagwell, Berkman, and Ward, or Lou behind you. You're going to see some pitches.
That's also a position where you're going to be sacrificing a lot, moving these runners further into scoring position.
1-2 pitch, ground ball left side. Polanco in the hole, gets rid of it, throws, not in time. Lugo with that good speed reaches on the infield hit. He's 1 for 2.
Still a very nice play by Polanco, and even though a little trouble with exchange, still got enough on the throw that if it was not a speedy runner, which Lugo is, he would have gotten a lot of guys at the major league level. So wherever you put Polanco, he will never embarrass you, and also you end up sitting there kind of smiling and saying, this guy can play.
Here's Bagwell, who walked and scored back in the first. It's a strike from Williams. A breaking ball that's 78 miles per hour.
But it almost hits so, slow that it kind of
getting a hitch almost.
Yeah, and I mean that in a positive way. Sometimes there are pitches that you throw that are either above or below a comfort zone in velocity, and that seems like it's almost below it.
Bagwell is in the hole, 0-2.
Bagwell talked about how spread out, but actually what he does, he's so spread out, and he absolutely, it appears that he lifts that leg straight up and puts it back down, but I think he actually brings it back closer to his back leg, but ever so slightly. That is spread out.
Amazing how he hits like that. That's spread out.
Well, and he's been doing it for a long time and very productive. It's like one of those, you would never teach somebody to do it that way. And I'm sure there's a lot of hitting coaches said, well, I'll wait till he fails and then we'll change him to more orthodox, but he's never failed.
Good play by Marrero. 2-2. Bagwell has been the opening day first baseman for the Astros for 11 consecutive seasons, now 33 years of age.
Bagwell likes this stance and all spread out because it keeps his head still. And we were talking about McGuire picked up some of the bad habits, and his head is moving forward, which distorts the ball coming to you.
Stays 2-2.
He thinks his head stays still. See his front foot. And now let's watch and see if his head does move. All over the place.
But he's not lunging, not diving, but you're right, it's moving. 2-2. I like that pitch.
Maybe you ought to subscribe to my theory of how to help your golf game. Neck surgery so you don't move your head.
Neck surgery.
2. Maybe after 3rd or 4th I might be able to break 100.
Might help you, but I'm not going to say anything. You've seen my golf game. Runner is going, and the pitch is grounded to short. Flip to second. Out at second, out at first. And Vina hung in there. He was taken out pretty roughly down there by Lugo, but he hung in there and made the turn, and it was a good one with a 6-4-3 double play.
But this is the way you like to see. 2 clubs that are battling for something late in September. You're going to play hard-nosed baseball, and you've got a hard-nosed second baseman, and you can see really the way Lugo, he didn't roll through the bag. He slid to it, popped up, and, he disrupts the tempo, but there's nothing severe or malicious in that. And 2 guys that probably appreciate a competitor playing the same way.
Here's Berkman, the switch hitter. Take a seat. A pizza at perfect delivery, and it was perfect once again from Fernando Vina on the 6-4-3 turn at second.
But you can see how he slid to the bag. He pops up, So it's not like he's doing a roll block right through the bag and right into the body of the man.
Like, say, Michael Tucker in Chicago.
Yes.
He went hard into Vigna a couple of times in that big series that they had. He was put on his fanny, and then he flies out to center. Berkman has had a rough night. An error, a costly error, and he's 0 for 2. Party suites and rooms are now available for the rescheduled games on October 5th, 6th, and 7th. Against these Astros, call the sales office at 314-421-3060. 421-3060. The 5th, 6th, and 7th against Houston back at Busch Stadium, and the party suites and rooms are available. Here's Edmonds, who is flying to center. He's 0 for 1. 2-2 game here in the 4th. Edmonds, McGuire, and Paquette. Slider from Wade Miller. 1-1. You like Miller, don't you?
Oh, you have to. You know, he's a big, strong kid. He's got a power arm.
Ooh. Edmonds, a scorcher right back up the middle. Second hit tonight for St. Louis.
Well, Wade Miller's just turned 25 years of age, but that ball running away from Jim, and he took it right back over the 6'2" head of Bill Miller from Pennsylvania.
Here's McGuire, who hit it a mile high. First time up, popped out to short.
Got underneath it a little bit, but
didn't miss it by much.
He's buckled on the breaking ball, and he's got that good plus fastball. Then he's got the curveball. 79-mile-an-hour curveball after you see a 95-mile-an-hour pitch. You know, that's hard to adjust to.
The 0-1.
Not afraid to pitch inside.
Big Mac in the hole, 0-2.
I believe the Cardinals are going to go to postseason, but I think McGuire holds the real key to how far they go.
In a lot of ways. He does hold the key, though, down the stretch, and in particular, as Al mentioned, down postseason play, and there's a big cut from McGuire.
A lot of pitchers have pounded him inside this year, and that's where, you know, if you really tried to dissect the swing, that's where you would want to throw.
That's in the dirt. And Edmonds is caught. Down to second. They got it. Osmus made a nice play, and then he hustled to go back up first base for the rundown. So Edmonds is caught between first and second.
You know, he tried
by Osmus.
He tried to do a little too much. Jimmy sit there. He got a secondary lead. He saw the ball bounce so far out in front. He just assumed that it was going to get away from Osmus. And what happened was it bounced right into the chest. He was able to snare it, and just a tough break. But you've got to see that separation. You can't afford to get thrown out in that situation with Mark McGuire. Anytime Mark McGuire standing at home plate, he's in scoring position, and he can give you multiple runs.
He went around. McGuire's 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout.
You know, Danny, yesterday I met a young man, Ryan Travers, as we look at the strikeout here. He tried to check his swing, but he went too far. Gary Cederstrom with a call, the appeal at first base. And Ryan Travers, nice young man, went to St. Louis University, graduated from there too. He's a meteorologist in Abilene. I want to say hi to his family friends, especially Jenny, Jason, Derek, and Niels.
Athletic trivia question: who holds the Major League single season record for strikeouts per 9 innings pitched?
Single season record
for 9 innings pitched.
Is that phrased properly?
so. Usually these guys, Truck always try to have a trivia question that deals with something involving the team we're playing. Maybe it's Larry Dierker. Marquette grounds out. 2-2 game. Athletic trivia question: who holds the Major League single season record for strikeouts per 9 innings pitched? Billy Wagner, back in 1999. That's pretty impressive there. 15 for 9 innings.
And now he's still racking up. Dotel is striking out a bunch out of the bullpen for Houston.
That's why this team is such a team that people gather around and say that they can make it all the way to the World Series, because you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and Larry Dierker's club in those late innings is just as good as anybody else in the league.
Yeah. You know, yesterday was the birthday of a very special guy, Herman Collier. Herman was the bat boy for the Cardinals several times in the 80s on Taylorville Day. I apologize for not wishing him a happy 34th birthday yesterday, but Buddy Bates remembers Herman, and happy birthday.
Eli Marrero was left on deck, so he was taking his time getting his catcher's gear ready and suited up. So Williams one extra toss to give Eli a throw down to second. As we play here in the bottom of the 4th, Darrell Ward, Benny Castilla, then Richard Hidalgo. Ward has an RBI, his 38th on the year. That made it 2-0, and the Cardinals have tied it back up 2-2. First pitch, a strike from Woody Williams.
Again, this equipment in baseball has gotten so sophisticated. The gloves are so unusual now. The leather is so treated so much softer. Bats are using different woods and different stuff. But I watched Matheny today, had a new set of catching gear, and literally had like cellophane wrap around his legs. And the only thing that was what I was thinking. I said, well, you know, some way it helps mold to their own leg configuration. And you know, I mean,
high fly ball into right, that'll stay in the park. Drew on the track and has it.
They wear the hockey mask now, and all these different things.
There's also behind the shin guard a lot of the knee savers that you call them. It's almost like a ledge or a level to where they can rest. Now Eli doesn't use those, but Mike does.
It's like a pad back there, so when you sit there, there's somewhat of a cushion and almost supports. Gives you some support when you're back in your squatting position. Pagnozzi used to say he squats for a living.
There you go. Here's Benny Castilla, who walked his first time up back in the first. Hidalgo on deck. The remaining schedule for the closest challengers in the wild card race: San Francisco at Los Angeles. And they have San Diego, and then Houston, Los Angeles again. Chicago at Pittsburgh against Houston. A day off, then they'll see Cincinnati and Pittsburgh again. Those games will be at home. They're just trying to get back to Wrigley Field. 9 games straight for the Cubs as they wind down their season. By the way, they trail 12-0 tonight.
They have shut down the Pirates the last 2 innings.
That's one of their positives tonight.
Yes. Nobody's ever accused me of never trying to think positively for the Cubs.
You got it. We won't do so here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. 3-2 on Benny Castilla.
Woody Williams is trying to win his 14th game, and if he beats the Astros here, he will have the 1 game over 500 in his career.
There's a shot to center. Edmonds coming on, but he won't be able to make that play. Castillo one out base hit here in the fourth for Houston. That's their third hit tonight.
He's had good success, and it looked like he caught a breaking ball. And right off the end of the bat, so Jimmy had no chance for that ball to get to him out in center. That is his 9th hit in 19 plate appearances against Williams.
That'll bring in Hidalgo with Ausmus on deck. Woody Williams, as we talked about during the pregame show, a big reason why the Cardinals find themselves with a chance to get to postseason play. He got to St. Louis. He wasn't real happy with what he saw as far as the clubhouse, and he thought some of the players needed little attitude adjustments. He's thinking, I'm in the pennant race again, coming from San Diego.
He's 5-1 with a 2.77 ERA since coming over.
We mentioned before, in '93 he was with the Blue Jays, but was left off their postseason roster, so he wants a chance to taste postseason play. One ball, one strike. Hidalgo left 2 men on back in the first as he popped out to third to end the inning. And he's hit by the pitch. So Woody Williams, who walked 2 in the first, has now hit a man, and that's Hidalgo.
He got it right on the elbow. It's 1 out, put 2 men on. You got Ausmus. Well, if you get a ground ball, you get out of the inning. Remember, Lou was a late scratch in this game, and we'll see if Hidalgo's able to stay in there after being hit on the elbow.
Ausmus has already hit a ground ball tonight to short. He's 0 for 1. Runs well for a catcher, but certainly a double play candidate. He's seen his average on the rise. It's a 235. He was around that 200 mark for a long time.
He's come over here to guide this pitching staff. It's a good, solid catcher. Just thrown out just under 50% of base stealers. He is an exceptional handler of the pitchers.
First and second, 1 away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ausmus came up with San Diego in '93. He was selected by the Yankees in the 47th round in the 1987 draft. Colorado took him in the expansion draft, and then he was traded to San Diego.
How many times he with Detroit?
2 times, 3 seasons. But twice reacquired by Houston.
Well, Houston have all kinds of trades. This home plate umpire has been very inconsistent. You know, early in the game, he had a very small strike zone. Then it widened out. Now he's back to being small.
See Tony La Russa giving him a word or two. Just wants consistency. 3-1. I'm sure Woody Williams is asking Eli Morero, where are some of these pitches? Trying to figure out his zone. Correct me if I'm wrong, Al.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, and that's part of the problem. And of course, you do not want a pitcher to, you know, get emotional out there and lose his concentration by not knowing where he's going.
Got him on the inside corner with that pitch. It's a full count.
Crowd did not like it, but I think that was truly a strike. And I think that was part of what Tony was saying earlier is, you know, hey, this is a ballpark that is explosive. Just call the strike zone, but call it both sides of the plate and call it consistently.
Ausmus is 3 for 5 in his career against Woody Williams. Runners go. Swing and a miss. Throw down to third. Strike him out. Throw him out. And the Cardinals are out of the inning. That is big. Very big for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. A strikeout for Woody Williams. His first on the night. The throw out by Marrero. 2-2. Two-two game, top of the 5th between the Cards and the Astros. Midwest Sports Report with Pat Paris and Rob King will come your way after the final out here at Enron Field. Kevin Slayton will sound off. The Fox Focus, Stadium Security, and Barry Bonds a countdown. He's at 67 and closing in on Mark McGwire. I thought it was interesting, the points that you brought up during the pregame show, and I was going to talk about it tonight. The fact that if you're trying to compare the two seasons, McGwire and Bonds, and say that Barry Bonds is seeing a lot of pitches to hit, that just simply is not the case.
Yeah, it's just, you know, when you watch the highlight films on the news, it appears that every pitch that he gets is a home run, but he's walked 157 times already. Mark McGwire walked 162 times. He's had more intentional passes than Mark had. And most people are saying, like last night, you know, he got 2 pitches to hit in the entire game. He walked twice, once intentional, one ball he hit out, and one ball he hit to the wall. But it appears, when you're always seeing the highlight shows, that every pitcher's throwing to him.
I think the question now for a lot of people that follow the chase and following Bonds is, why would you pitch to him at all?
Well, that, you know, that's kind of the thing is, you know, the home run last night was a 1-1 game. It's a game winner. You know, Marrero strikes out.
I think to, 3 weekends ago on that Sunday against Colorado when he had the 3 home runs.
Right.
One was in extra innings. Why do you even pitch to him?
Yeah, and there was one I know when Arizona was playing, and they had like a 4-2 lead, and with a man on, and he hits a home run to tie it up. So you can see it both ways, but right now he's pretty locked in.
Here's Woody Williams. He hits a shot in the left, and that's a base hit for Woody, and the 4th hit tonight for St. Louis. So Williams is 1 for 2 tonight. 4 hits for St. Louis, and that'll bring in Vigna. Woody can hit.
Yeah, his 14th hit. He was an all-region shortstop at the University of Houston. And he goes up there, not afraid to swing the bat. Puts the bat on the ball.
1 out. Here's Vigna. Walked and scored back in the 3rd. Also hit back to the pitcher. Now pops it up. Hit a lot of balls in the air lately.
I was seeing the same thing, Dan. He's a line drive hitter, but sometimes when a little guy hits a home run, it's the worst thing that can happen. Did that last night, and you get underneath a couple balls.
Up to Polanco. 2-2 game here in the 5th.
Polanco looks like he's wearing down a little bit, and wouldn't be surprised if he takes a seat tomorrow and Renteria inserted back at shortstop. He's had a very, very productive season.
This has probably been his worst month, hitting .284 in 16 games in September, and there's Edgar Renteria.
Edgar's had a little struggle against Miller, so there you go.
Right back up the middle. Williams will move from 1st to 2nd. A 2-out base hit for Polanco.
You know, sometimes when you're tired, everything slows down and you can kind of just, you know, go on adrenaline. But there is a better approach than we've seen in the last 2 or 3 games. Just everything was nice and easy, just right back to not trying to swing wildly, everything under control.
Here's JD with 2 outs and 2 on, trying to break a 2-2 game. It's been a while since we've seen him go deep. Before the tragedy, he was at San Diego off of Bobby Jones. JD has reached twice. He's walked and singled to right.
Needs two-out magic.
The 2 on the 1-0 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. Slashed at bat, and this was costly out.
Yeah, it was 2 outs, and there's the base hit RBI, but with the error by Berkman, it allowed Vigny to come around and score the second run and make it a 2-2 game.
Polanco at first, Woody Williams at second. JD pulls that foul, and it hits a fan in the stands. Hopefully that fan is okay.
I think he got him on the side of the head, which is a lot better than face. And what made it tough was it skipped off the dugout. He was, what, second row?
Seems to be okay, though. Pitch to Drew. Little chopper to first. He'll make this close. Bagwell the flip, and they get it. Cardinals lead 2. They've left 4 on the night. We'll move to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 2-2 game.
Okay, want to get to the latest Cardinals stuff? Well, then log on to StLouisCardinals.com, the official source for Cardinals merchandise. STLCardinals.com. Connect with it. Well, thank you. What do you got in your mouth, Danny?
Pizza. Having dinner.
Well, hey, talking about dinner, it's a perfect segue.
Nice.
You want a catered dinner for a party of 10?
Boy, you're good.
To benefit the Cardinals Care? I'll tell you what, we did this last year, had a great time. I'm the special guest. The package includes 3 bottles of Dom Perignon champagne, a full-course dinner prepared and served either at the Stadium Club or in your home at a mutually agreed-upon date. The executive chef at St. Louis, the Stadium Club, appetizers. These are just some of the things you might want to think about. Stuffed crab, crab stuffed mushrooms, bacon wrapped sea scallops, full poached white river salmon.
Good play by Polanco.
These are just the appetizers here, Dan. For 10.
Why are you there? So what are you doing? Are you preparing this, or are you?
Because we did it. We raised $10,000 last year for Cardinals Care.
Atta baby. Road wins. This is our Casino Queen leaderboard. Most in the National League, and Woody Williams with 9. Kurt Schilling, the 21-game winner, has 11, and Tom Glavine of Atlanta with 10. Not that it's a bad thing that you're going to be there. I'm just wondering what your role is.
Okay, more appetizers: rock shrimp cocktail, smoked seafood platter. You know, they got the quiche and brie. Entrees: carved beef Wellington with Dutch potatoes, Chateaubriand with Maine lobster, chicken Oscar with tiger shrimp. How's your pizza?
Not as good as that.
Yeah. Filet mignon with fried lobster, rack of lamb. Huh. Hey, this could be Friday. And there'll be 3 places where you can have this silent auction. 3 places at the ballpark, either the Stadium Club, the Cardinals Club, or on the main concourse. They'll set this up. We had a lot of fun last year. It's a catered dinner for 10, and I'll be your special guest. I'll help you drink the Dom Perignon.
I'm sure you will.
And you know, of course, the Stadium Club brings out their finest wine, red for the main course, the white for the fish, and we have special white for, you know, the appetizers. Oh, it's awesome. That'll be this Friday.
Trying to act like you know something about wine tasting and about drinking wine. Like you're an expert or something.
Like devouring.
Yes, you do. Biggio strikes out. 2 away. A 2-2 game.
I'm going to bring this up tomorrow when you eat your pizza. Yeah, we're gourmets. Mutually agree upon dinner.
Where Al invites himself. And eats half your food. Then he gets obnoxious. You can't stand him anymore, and you kick him out.
Hey, we had fun last year. Had two different groups that bid on this, and then so we finally said, well, let's have 2 different dinner parties. two interesting, diverse groups, and I had fun with both of them.
What was so diversified?
Well, one group was headed by a surgeon, and the other one tried to negotiate to not have the Dom Perignon and wanted Busch beer instead.
My kind of group.
and you know what? They made them have the Dom Perignon and all the Busch beer they wanted to.
Here is Julio Lugo. Back to baseball for a second. And a full count. Am I invited?
You can bid on it.
I knew that was coming.
Would you like to be?
I'd love to be invited.
I'll think about it.
The 3-2 pitch struck him out. And Williams has 2 strikeouts in the inning and 3 in the game. We'll head to the 6th. We're tied 2-2. Exclusive network for postseason action for the next 6 years. On Fox, Fox Family. Starts October 9th. Postseason baseball only on Fox. Albert Pujols leading things off here in the 6th, a 2-2 game. Pujols, Edmonds, and McGuire.
It's time for us to take the lead.
Albert's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Couldn't catch up with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. For his last 11. He does have 3 home runs here at Enron Field and spins away from a breaking ball.
Danny, a lot of people are talking about Pujols in the MVP race, and I maintain that it is so close that some guys are going to knock themselves out by what they do these last 2 weeks.
Pujols strikes out. He's 0 for 3. 5 strikeouts for Wade Miller. Advanced Auto Parts Division standings. In the Central, the Cardinals 5.5 games out. Chicago 9 back. The Cubs, by the way, down 13-1 to Pittsburgh. Redbirds lead the wild card by 2 games over San Francisco and 4.5 in front of Chicago, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. Mets winners tonight over Montreal, so they have a chance to move up in the East. Here's Jim Edmonds. Jimmy's 1 for 2 tonight. .96 miles an hour from Miller. He's come out pumping in this inning. Fastballs to Pujols, and the first 2 are fastballs to Edmonds. As he challenged him again. The 0-2 pitch rears back and missed up, I guess. Well, 96 miles an hour.
And Dan, that's what we're talking about, the consistency. That was a strike earlier and probably was a strike right now, but the umpire didn't call it.
Edmonds gets under this one. Biggio has it.
I think Bagwell was, you see the way he's looking out. He said, that's as high as they go. And thank goodness, Greg, you're good. He didn't want any part of it. And I think Biggio was probably looking at Bagwell. That was up there.
Yep. Here's McGuire. Big Mac is struck out and also popped out to short. He's 0 for 2. Shift is on for McGuire.
579 career home runs.
580 would be nice right here.
Reading my mind.
Mark homered in the first game of this road trip off of Anderson in Pittsburgh. 3-0 for 1,400 RBIs in his career, 579 home runs, and a 263 career average. The 3-0.
The injuries he's had earlier in his career, last year, this year, boy, what would his total be?
Past 755. A full count on Mark McGuire. Max sitting on 25, and he walks. First time he's reached. That'll bring in Paquette with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Miller has allowed 30 home runs this season. Craig's got 25 RBIs his last 34 games.
First baseman Bagwell behind Mark McGuire does not hold, knowing that Mark is not going anywhere. 2-2 game here in the 6th. Paquette has struck out and grounded out. 2-0.
Pitches inside, kind of missing his location. So
Wade Miller emerged as a mainstay in the starting rotation last season in mid-July and has stayed there ever since. He made 15 starts and threw 2 complete games a year ago. This year, a 16-game winner.
a 2-0 slider there for ball strike.
2-2. We're on the air tomorrow night at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Net. The pregame show as Kyle will take on Ron Valone, who's 6-7, the lefty. Been out of the bullpen for the better part of this season, but inserted into that starting rotation because of all the injuries that we've talked about.
He pitched one gem against the Cardinals last year.
Full count on Paquette. Herrera to follow.
Well, at least you get McGuire moving. Does he challenge him here with a fastball, or does he throw him a slider?
Miller has 5 strikeouts on the night. McGuire's off with the pitch, and it's back-to-back walks. Miller has walked 4 tonight. One of them came around to score back in the 3rd. That was Mena. With the error made by Berkman and Wright, Mena was able to score.
Well, 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout.
Wade Miller has won 4 straight. Trying to make it 5. Herrera into right field. Berkman has it. The Cardinals strand a couple. They've left 6 tonight. They've had some opportunities in this game. Eli's 1 for 3. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-2 between 1 and 2 in the NL Central. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. American flag on the backs of the jerseys of all players in Major League Baseball. It's on the base paths and it's on the hats worn by the players and coaches and managers as well. Here's Bagwell. A 2-2 game in the sixth. The 0-1. Make it 0-2.
Buzz Westfall, county executive, son yelling at me, Steve, right below the booth here. He wants to say hello to his dad, Buzz. Good guy. Lou was scratched because of a calf injury. Hopefully it'll last through tomorrow.
1-2 on Bagwell. He's been quiet so far in this series. Astros first baseman tonight hit into a double play and walked and scored back in the first.
Woody Williams has also answered once again how tough he is and pitching a terrific ball game.
Got off to a rough start in the first, but that was it.
I mean, you look at it, there was only one hit in that inning. They scored their 2 runs. They did walk a pair, but a big error kind of opened it up a little bit. And a ground out, scored the only RBI.
Double play helped at one point. Also had to strike him out, throw him out. That took away a rally as well. Bagwell fouls that back.
Everything's decided in the American League. Who's going to go to postseason, but National League's going to be a terrific race right down to the end. Bagwell trying to keep himself in check.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. He was shut down last night and quiet tonight.
Strikeouts in a row for Woody, and 4 in the game. He's actually struck out 4 of the last 5 batters he's faced.
That'll bring in Berkman. Reached on an air back in the first and fly to center. Playing right field tonight with that injury to Alou. Was to be in left. Against the Cardinals this year, Berkman in 11 games heading into tonight's game. At 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and an average at .432. 2-0. And the top switch hitters in the game, Lance Berkman. 49 doubles, 33 home runs, and 1 more double.
Yeah.
He becomes the first switch hitter in Major League history to hit at least 30 homers and 50 doubles in a season. The first ever.
And the first switch hitter, that has been accomplished by 13 different players, non-switch hitters.
It's quite a feat.
And in the National League, it's Chuck Klein, Joe Medwick, Stan Musial, Frank Robinson, and Todd Help.
See the shift on for Berkman as Polanco, playing short tonight, is on the second base side. That's the first time I think we've seen that used against him.
After you hit .432 against a team, you will try some two.
Played collegiately at Rice.
You could tell last year when he came onto the scene that he was going to be a terrific player and a real offensive weapon. And this year he's just having a breakthrough in his first full season in the major leagues.
Just missed inside. 1-out walk. Well, that was a close ball 4.
Watch Woody. He wanted this one inside. doesn't get the call. Just slightly, just a little bit inside, and once again, you want consistency. That pitch has been called a strike at other times tonight.
Especially earlier in the game. He was consistently giving that pitch. It was Darrell Ward.
Well, remember, he started out when Woody walked 2 in the first inning that he had a very tight strike zone, and then in the second inning, it kind of widened out.
Ward chases a pitch. And it's 0-2. Darrell tonight with an RBI, his 38th. That was back in the first. And he's flying to right.
Father was a very good hitter. The hitting coach for somebody now in the minor leagues. He had got off to a great start. 6 RBI, including a grand slam in opening day.
When he wasn't supposed to play on opening day. It's been tough to find him.
Remember, he wasn't supposed to play tonight.
Yeah,
either.
that's true. That's true. It's been tough for him to find a spot. And to me, he looks a little bit slimmer this year. And that's one of the problems, is that he doesn't run all that well in the outfield, and he's a little bit overweight.
Yeah. Question his defense. Is he a liability out there? Plus, this is a tough outfield to crack into.
1-2. Woody wanted that one as well. Didn't get it. 2-2. Dave Duncan barking out at our home plate umpire from the Redbirds dugout.
You know, there's a lot of times we criticize and we say that pitchers don't throw, pitches inside. Well, you can also say umpires don't call inside pitches.
The 2-2. Got him. Now that's the same pitch, isn't it?
And that's where umpires, the crowd, you can hear them reacting. They don't like it because they thought it was the exact same pitch that was just called a ball. I say both of them were strikes. Well, you know what? That's the same pitch that Ward, that Berkman just walked on. So what is it?
Either way, the 6th strikeout and the 2nd in this inning for Woody Williams. And it's up to Castilla. It's a 2-2 game here in the 6th. Castilla tonight has walked and has a base hit. Hits it sharply. Binion. Nice play on the backhand. He gets the force at second. How good is he at second base? Just 9 errors on the season and a great play there to his right. 2-2 after 6.
Well, we played 6 innings here. We are all tied 2-2. We look at Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire. The one on the left is the walk to Berkman. And you see how he's kind of more upright, looking right over the top of Morero's head. Does he see that inside pitch? The next one, he's much lower, more inside, gets a better look, and he called that one a strike. It looked like the same identical pitch.
Here's Woody Williams. And then the top of the order. We're in the 7th, 2-2. Well-pitched ball game on both sides. Williams has just been a bulldog since arriving in that trade from San Diego.
Each team has committed an error behind their pitcher and is figured prominently in the scoring.
Woody has a base hit tonight. 3-1 in the month of August and 2-0 in September with an ERA that's under 1. Check swing and a foul.
Woody has 2 complete games, 1 shutout, and Miller has 1 complete game this year. Woody is the kind of guy that works consistently deeper into games than Miller. Miller has a great bullpen behind him.
Woody Williams gets into this one on a breaking ball and hits it into deep left, and then coming on, Ward makes the play. He just got under it. Those kind of fly balls have been seen to carry out of this ballpark as Miller's approaching 100 pitches tonight.
Danny, just a beautiful, almost like autumn night here with very cool temperatures for Houston, and probably If it was in the middle of the summer or a typical hot Houston night, that ball carries another 15, 20 feet,
Sure.
or at least up against the scoreboard.
Here's Pena. Getting 320 in road games. And tonight, Fernando is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Cardinals have 5 hits tonight. 13-1 the final. Pirates beat Chicago. Atlanta and Florida. That's 2-2.
Philly's about ready to lose. 8-1.
The Mets have won 2-0, so they gain a game on the Phillies. Just 3 back of Philadelphia, and depending on what happens with Atlanta and Florida, they could be 3 back of the Braves. 2 balls and a strike. Pena slaps it foul, 2-2. Mentioned that the magic number to clinch a playoff spot for Houston is 5. And to win the Central, it's 7.
And the magic number for the Cardinals is 10. For that wild card spot.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Pena. A little squiver. Castilla makes the play. Hey, Cardinal fans, every Friday during the season, as you well know, it's Busch Bash night at the ballpark. They come to the Family Pavilion every Friday throughout the season for a pregame party featuring live bands, former players, and the opportunity to win tickets for the Busch Bleacher Zone. Each fan in the zone has the chance to win up to $5,000, all courtesy of Busch Beer. Another one of those nights is coming up this Friday with Pittsburgh in town.
We will televise that game. Not on the schedule.
Here's Polanco. He has a base hit tonight. Looks at a strike. It's becoming customary around Major League Baseball during the 7th inning stretch to play God Bless America. We will do so again here tonight. We will keep it here so you can see that, then we'll throw it to break. One ball, 1 strike on Polanco, who struck out, popped out, and singled his last time up. And he pops this one up. Easy play for Bagwell and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Wade Miller. Here's Richard Hidalgo. He'll lead things off for the Astros. They're half of the 7th. It's a 2-2 game. One ball, 1 strike, and it's 2-1. Have to be impressed with the way that Woody Williams has thrown once again here tonight, picking up where he left off.
Thrown 102 pitches to this point. He has done a very good job holding this tremendous offense just to 3 hits.
There's a shot into center field. Edmonds coming on. He'll make the play. Well, if you want more of the same great attitude you get from Fox Sports, then log on to the new foxsports.com. Get local information on your favorite team and the best fantasy football on the web. Hey, where else can you get John Madden and Anna Kournikova in the same place? foxsports.com.
Just the image of those two is
frightening. 2 outs as Osmus is retired. He's 0 for 3. First pitch that he saw, and he popped it up. Fernando Bina.
Yeah, who's yelled, "I got it"? Wasn't Fernando. Maybe a fan or somebody, but somebody
Never moved his lips.
Yeah.
But I heard him say it in a high-pitched voice. 2 outs. And Wade Miller will hit for himself. He's thrown over 100 pitches tonight. 0-2. Cardinals in the 8th will have Drew, Pujols, and Edmonds, and if anybody can reach, then McGuire. So big part of their lineup coming up. They're going to get another crack at Wade Miller.
Well, the Cardinals helped out Miller with a very efficient 7th inning. And that probably was the determination for Durker to let him hit here with 2 outs. Nobody on. That also was part of it. And that was a pretty good pitch right there from Williams. Didn't get the call.
The 2-2.
Yeah, I was looking yesterday, Dan, and I was a little surprised with the importance of this series that a more veteran umpiring crew were not on board.
That's the same pitch that was called a ball 2 pitches ago. A strikeout for Woody Williams. It's a 2-2 game. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Advanced Auto. The best part is our people, Advanced Auto Parts. Well, here's Drew as we move to the 8th, and it's 2-2. Drew, Pujols, and Edmonds.
This has got to be our shot right here.
This will be the 4th time that these big 3 have seen the right-hander Wade Miller, who struck out 5 tonight, allowed 5 hits. Still getting it up there, 94 miles an hour.
And still getting it up there, but it's getting that stage where you're in the heart of our order. You still got an arm that's nearing the end and not getting into the fresh arms of their bullpen.
They have a right-hander starting to toss. Cardinals no action in their bullpen.
Jackson.
I believe it was.
Yeah, Mike Jackson.
Two 2-0 the count. See if Drew can jump on one. 2-1.
Count in your favor. There's a chance to predict the fastball. And let it go.
3 balls and a strike. Pujols on deck. Let's see if he'll jump on this one.
Remember, JD is a very good fastball hitter.
Strike on the outside corner. Full count.
See that reaction from JD. You don't get any more from him than that.
The 3-2 by Miller. And JD gets under it. Into right center, Hidalgo calls off Berkman and has it. 1 away. Talking about game-winning ribbies, and Pujols with 20 on the year. National League leaders. Cabrera of Montreal with 21.
But you look at it there, Albert is the only one that you would consider an MVP candidate.
Sure.
So that speaks volumes for when he gets his RBIs.
Slider by Miller. Pujols has grounded out twice to second and struck out. He's 0 for 3. 0-2 the count. 13-1 the final for the Pirates. Comes at 4-6 in their last 10.
But once they're eliminated, they'll be tough.
Pujols strikes out. He's 0 for 4. 6 strikeouts for Wade Miller. It's been a pitcher's duel between Woody Williams and Wade Miller. Miller has allowed 5 hits. Woody just 3. Here's Edmonds. He did homer here last night to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Cardinals haven't had a hit since the 5th inning. That was Polanco's. And the last hit for the Astros was Castillo in the 4th. And he used to crush the Astros.
Fouls that one away down the left field line and into the seats. 0-2. 2 outs in the 8th and nobody on in a 2-2 game. 0-2 the count on Jim Edmonds.
The first series he had last year here. Had about 12 at bats before he made his first out.
Edmonds, a base hit into right. Snaps that string. 2-hit night for Edmonds, and let's see what McGuire can do.
You know, we keep on saying that Mark McGuire holds the key, and 2-out hits are going to be crucial down the stretch. Mac 0 for 2 and a walk tonight.
The walk was his last time up. He struck out, popped out to short. Shift is on. Edmonds a short lead from first. Big swing and a miss. 95 miles an hour.
Wade Miller. Wade Miller is going to reach back for everything he has left and for this challenge, and Mark should be the same way.
Figure this should be his last inning.
I just don't know. I mean, depends on what McGuire does. Could be his last batter.
Pitch count is getting up there. It's at 117.
I would have to say it has to be his last inning.
The 0-1 to McGuire.
And Larry Dierker is probably the last manager that's going to go according to pitch counts. But still, when you get to around 120 or something like that, today's standards, rarely are you going to let somebody start a new inning.
1 ball, 1 strike. McGuire with 25 home runs spins away from a nasty breaking ball. 1-2.
81-mile-an-hour curveball. Remember, the first pitch in the bat was 95. So with that variance, you can understand why you fool some hitters.
Doesn't matter if Mark McGuire is hitting 180. He's going to see everybody's best.
And a lot of times now, they're going to try to finish it off with a strikeout. And that's what I'm saying. You're going to throw a fastball. He located it inside, off the plate. It's a ball. It's 2-2. You get a breaking ball. He hadn't hung many tonight.
Crowd on their feet. McGuire pulls it foul.
There's a breaking ball, and I think he was looking for it. Sometimes you got to guess, but remember, if you're guessing breaking ball, you're not going to adjust to Miller's fastball. Your only hope is if you're going looking fastball is that he hangs the breaking ball. It's going to be a fastball away.
The 2-2 to McGuire. Full count. With Paquette on deck. What does he do here on a full count?
It's a lot of fun. You know, you challenge him with that good fastball, still got good heat, or you try and trick him with a breaking ball. You trick him with a breaking ball. Could you hang it? Whoa. He threw, that was not the location that he wanted. And I think that, you know, as we saw Woody Williams several times wanting a pitch called, that's the same thing that Miller wanted that ball called. And right now you have to believe. And you see Larry Dierker laughing or shaking his head saying the umpire. So both benches have given an earful to the home plate umpire.
the home plate umpire making sure that he's staring down Larry Dierker, trying to entice him. Dierker taking the high road.
Well, a lot of times that manager will hang around out there until that umpire comes out there. Now, Dierker may never turn around and look at the home plate umpire, but you can tell you he's going to say something to him. There it is. Going to stick with his starter and give him a chance for the win.
Pitch count way up there, over 120.
Fifth walk for Miller. He's got 6 strikeouts, and we have our secret weapon in Craig Paquette with a man in scoring position.
Runners in scoring position. Paquette this year, 365 with 2 home runs, 123 pitches thrown by the young right-hander. First and second with 2 away. The first pitch is grounded foul.
That helps.
On the line here.
When I say it helps, because Craig Paquette is a very good breaking ball hitter. And, he will chase balls that are, breaking balls out of strike zone. But he has a knack for hitting breaking balls that are strikes.
Paquette up the middle. That's a base hit. Here comes Edmonds. The throw from center. Not in time. The Cardinals have the lead. 3-2 St. Louis. Paquette does it again.
There it is. Craig Paquette rises to the occasion with a runner in scoring position. And remember, with the fact, too, now the trainers come out to Miller. So this is not the same period. But there's your breaking ball or something that was off speed hanging out there. And the way they're looking at Miller's hands, not a very good throw by Hidalgo, and Jimmy scores the 3rd run of the game. This is a huge, huge run, but 6 big outs again from the Astros. And Craig Paquette just continues to shine with runners in scoring position.
How big has he been? A home run in dramatic fashion on Sunday to tie the game up, and here tonight, a base hit to give the Cardinals a lead. It's 3-2 St. Louis. Miller leads to a standing ovation here at Enron Field. But Paquette with the RBI is 61st, and it's 3-2 St. Louis. Craig Paquette has given the Cardinals a lead of 1 run. It's 3-2 here in the 8th. A 2-out base hit to drive in Jim Edmonds. We talked about the pregame show, having money players in your lineup and guys that rise to the occasion down the stretch, and Paquette has done that.
Oh, absolutely. And now you got another money guy, a free agent guy that the Cardinals had interest in, Mike Jackson, but felt he was too much of a liability for medical reasons. And it panned out when Philadelphia signed him and couldn't pitch at all. But he is a native of Houston, and he's done a pretty good job for the Astros, appearing for his 62nd time.
Mark McGwire at first. Do you leave him out there?
Well, I think this is the one thing, and it's a gamble, but because you have only a 1-run lead, you've got 6 outs to get here, and a very offensive ballpark. I guess maybe Tony just feels I still want his offense.
McGuire's at second, so you have him there. Then Paquette at first, and here's Kerry Robinson pinch hitting for Eli Marrero. So Matheny will come in for defensive purposes behind the plate. And Kerry pulls that one down the right field line, but foul.
Well, that's not what you expect from Kerry Robinson, but what the heck? He's got a pitch to his liking. He was out in front of it and let it ride, and let it fly.
To St. Louis, and Kerry swings and misses. He's in the hole 0-2.
Now the first pitch was a fastball that was way out in front. Now Jackson's gone with his patented slider. Maybe the fact that he pulled that ball set the tempo for him to throw a ball out into left field like he normally does.
A strikeout at Kerry Robinson. Caught him with the slider. Cardinals strand a couple, but they get the lead for the first time in this series. Paquette the RBI. It's 3-2. Bottom of the 8th here in Houston, and it's 3-2 Redbirds in game 2 of this 3-game set. Woody Williams still in there for St. Louis. Postseason play will air only here on Fox Sports Net, Fox Family, and of course across Fox and across the country. Postseason baseball begins on October 9th, only here on Fox. Top of the order for the Houston Astros. Mike Matheny will take over behind the plate after Kerry Robinson pinch hit for Eli Marrero. And Woody Williams back on the mound, and he'll face the top of the order. He has done a whale of a job again here tonight. Allowed just 3 hits. He's been outstanding.
Well, he has, and of course, top of the order. He has allowed 3 hits, the last one coming in the 4th.
First pitch, a strike to Biggio, who doubled to start the game off for the Astros. In their half of the first. Also came around to score. That was the last time they've scored, was back in the first. He's also grounded to short and struck out.
P.J. Matthews is throwing in the Cardinals bullpen.
1-1.
There's T.J. Activity in the Houston bullpen.
Biggio with every piece of armor known to man on his left elbow and forearm. Almost caught it.
Can hit 25 times this year, and I think leads in active players with 194 in his career.
He went around. Why do you allow something that big on his front arm like that?
Well, Dan, they made a new rule. Remember, they used to wear the one that would go from the shoulder all the way down to the wrist. Now it is, you cannot have a protective padding any longer than 10 inches. So I assume it's still in the within the specifications.
Hit by pitches, career active leaders. Biggio 194, Galarraga San Francisco, and Brady Anderson of Baltimore in the top 3. All making Ron Hunt very proud. The 2-2.
Great pitch.
Yep. Tied him up. Popped him up. And Mike Matheny puts it away. 5 outs away.
Great pitch right there. Working on both sides of the plate, but jammed the heck out of a guy that, and that's risky.
Pennzoil protection play of the game.
A guy that has been hit so frequently, you come inside, they have a knack for letting that ball hit you. And there you see he gets himself out. Not happy with that at bat. He's big with.
1 out. And here is the shortstop Lugo. With nobody on and a 1-run St. Louis lead. First pitch, a strike from Woody Williams. Another bulldog performance from Woody. He has 2 complete games within the last 30 days. 1 at Los Angeles, 5-1. At San Diego, 2-0. He went 7 innings against Pittsburgh to win that game, 9-1.
Well, the Houston factor, he's a native of here. He's won 7 of his last 8. And he's not afraid of his responsibility to his team and to the staff today. He has to pitch well a game, and he has.
One and 2.
Mike also with a screwdriver, putting the mask on today, putting that cage on there. I'm sure glad he tightened them all the screws up.
Didn't even flinch. Just asked for a new baseball and threw it back out there. Nothing happened.
He doesn't know where his name is.
Well, that's fine. The 2-2, same pitch, and he's called out. Wow. That was the same pitch from before that was called a ball. Am I right?
Well, we'll let you be the judge, I believe. All right, this is strike 3. Right there in the corner. This was the pitch right before.
The same pitch.
Same pitch. Well, you know, hey, you know, it's like they have two choices. Sometimes it's good that they only have 2. But see both managers, and you know, it's been the same thing for both sides.
Yeah.
So
0-2 on Bagwell as Williams now just going right after that corner. Seven strikeouts. Woody Williams, and 6 of them called third strikes. 3-2 St. Louis here in the 8th. Crowd is quiet with Bagwell at the plate.
yeah, I think whoever's on the mound's not sure where the strike zone is, but neither are the hitters.
The 1-2, he goes inside and jams him. Polanco. The Cardinals will head to the 9th with a 1-run lead. Woody Williams is doing the job again here tonight. 3-2 Redbirds. Cardinal fans here at Enron Field. You're enjoying this one so far. Redbirds lead it 3-2 as we move to the top of the 9th. Greg Paquette, as it stands, with the possible game-winning RBI. There's Mike Williams, who was picked up from Pittsburgh. He was a closer at the time. This will be his 60th appearance on the year. Williams, part of that bullpen that once you get to that 7th, 8th, and 9th, this shuts you down.
Well, you know what? He's 6-4 on the year, but 4-0 as an Astro. ERA at 2.60. No save, but he had 22 with the Pirates. And look at this. Tony's going to give Woody Williams a chance to finish this ball game.
You have to, don't you? And Williams puts a shot into this one. Deep left field. Bobbled and caught. Ward made it interesting and left. He jumped, bobbled it, and corralled it in.
Well, we said he's a defensive liability. He goes back, and he's thinking it's going to go off the wall, or so he's jumping up, and it pops out of his glove, but he stays with it and holds on to it. Looked like he was getting ready to jump high and take it off either the wall, and
made it look a lot tougher than it had to be.
Absolutely.
Williams has been outstanding tonight. He's tossed a 3-hitter so far. Here's Beasley. Fernando trying to fun his way off. That's a foul.
And I think that part of the process for Woody Williams to have the ball in the 9th inning is the fact that yesterday Tony told me, he said, I was scared for Dave Beers because of being off for over 2 weeks. He did pitch yesterday and was dominant in 1 inning. But so I don't think it's really fair for him to protect a 1-run lead. And then you've got, you know, line, you've got Berkman, who is a switch hitter.
Then you've got Ward from the left side. So that's why you may think about flying. Beanie tries to bunt himself on going down the first baseline. That didn't happen. 0-2.
But I'll tell you one thing. Even though Woody is right around 120 pitches, I think they just say that he's not afraid.
He's at 125.
That is. But, I mean, he has not labored in this game. That is part of the thought process. Pitch count is high, but he has shown in the past that he throws a lot of innings. Got a couple complete games since he's come over from San Diego. And I think they just said he started this one, let him have a chance to finish.
0-2 on Pena. Polanco on deck. Fernando grounds out to second. 2-1. Polanco has a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 4. He's popped out a couple of times and struck out as well. Vino for 4 on the night. Here's Polanco. 3-2 Redbirds, and this crowd is quiet here at Enron Field.
It's kind of the games that you would expect. Two teams battling down the stretch. Says something about the team to come back after the loss last night. A bad first inning.
That's a good point. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Polanco. Ground ball to second. Will hit to the bottom of the ninth. Woody Williams has won 7 of his last 8 decisions. Woody Williams has won 3 straight. 2 of those 3 have been complete games. Can he make it 3 of 4? Berkman, Ward, Castillo have something to say about that. Well, here we go. Bottom of the ninth at Enron Field. Lance Berkman will lead it off, the switch hitter. Then Darrell Ward. And Vinny Castillo. The last man to get a base hit was Castillo back in the 4th against Woody Williams. The shift is on, and the first pitch is outside. That's pitch number 126 for Woody Williams.
Berkman walked in the 6th inning. That's really the last base runner that they've had.
And also reached on an air and popped out. 2-0.
Beck Schulte and Steve Klein are throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Like Dotel in the Astros bullpen.
Berkman is a switch hitter. If you have him hit from the right side, he's only a 303 hitter, as opposed to where he's at right now. He's at 350 from the left side. That's why it might have made sense to bring in Steve Klein, because you also have Ward, who hits from the left side on deck. This is Williams' game. 2-2.
Danny, there's just so many things and tough decisions to be made by a manager. Ron LaRusso is going to have not afraid to make those decisions.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Now how good does the decision make look?
To me, you let him try to at least get that first man. You see how he handles Berkman, and then you make a decision, because he has pitched so well, you let him decide his own fate.
Well, I agree with you in there. He throws the ball right by him, and it's his 8th strikeout.
Here's Ward. Has an RBI. Struck out, fly to right.
1-run game. Everybody you're facing this inning has home run threat.
3 games over 500 for Tony La Russa in his career in 1-run games. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's an interesting stat, and to be honest with you, I don't know where that would figure. And there's so many different factors involved.
Larry Dierker, an even 500.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And you got to remember, a lot of it depends on how good is your closer.
The 2-1 pitch. Ooh, fouled straight back, 2-2. We may have gotten away with that pitch. Ward was right on it.
Well, look at it this way. If you're patient, you're going to get 1 pitch to hit. Maybe that's his only pitch, and he couldn't do anything with it.
Vinny Castillo on deck. Ward 0 for 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Williams has won 7 of his last 8 decisions. A check swing. Did he go?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. A strikeout. His 9th in the game.
There Durker just had it, but I think you see this replay, you'll see he goes after that breaking ball. Very close, but almost any time you see a replay, it's going to appear to the first or third base umpire that he did have intent and does go around. That's the crew chief, Tim Wilkie.
It's up to Castilla. 9 strikeouts for Woody Williams. Trying to close it out. Should be his 3rd complete game in his last 4. That's making a statement.
He's made a statement.
2 outs, nobody on. Castilla looks at a ball. The Midwest Sports Report moments away. One-0 pitch. A strike, and Woody is 2 away.
Woody Williams is going, okay, guys, when you vote on your shares, normally a guy that's come at the halfway point gets half a share. On his contribution, it's a full share.
Yes. 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Right side. McGuire. Does he have a play? Reaches in. He got it. Woody Williams, a complete game, and the Cardinals take game number 2. Williams, 9 strikeouts. He had none through the first 3. He strikes out 9, a complete game victory.
And did you see the big hug he got from Matt Morris? Yesterday, the matchup favored Matt Morris. Today, it favored Miller. But Woody Williams has a big heart, and the team took this one.
A huge win for the Cardinals. 7 hits for St. Louis, a 3-hitter complete game for Woody Williams. Midwest Sports Report comes your way now.